Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Mrs. Priyadarshini from Purnavidyashram Group of Schools. Now, hi students, let's move on to the next part of the chapter, the second part of the chapter, tissues from class 9 biology. Let's have a quick recap on what we have studied in the last class. So we have been cleared about the plant tissues, their classification, the flow chart we have seen. So plant tissues are classified into two types, the meristematic tissues and the permanent tissues. So we have cleared about the meristematic tissues, that they are divided into three types. That is apical meristems, intercalary meristems and lateral meristems. Now let's move on to the next topic of the session. So now we are going to see about permanent tissues. So what are permanent tissues? So these are the tissues that arise from the meristematic tissues by a process called differentiation. So what is differentiation? So it is a process by which the cells will take up a permanent size, shape and a function. Here they have lost their ability to multiply, whereas the meristematic tissues, they can divide. So they are of two main types. So what are they? They are simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Now let's clear about the simple permanent tissues. So what are simple permanent tissues? If the tissues are made up of only one type of cells, okay, so these tissues are called as simple permanent tissues. Say all the type of the cells are same. So they are classified into three types. So parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Even the epidermal tissues also a type of simple permanent tissues. So I want you to take a closer view of this picture. So parenchymous tissue, it's a very spaciously arranged intracellular, and they are you can see them more loosely arranged. They are with large intercellular spaces. The size is isodiametric and spherical and elongated. And if you see about the collenchyma, the collenchyma tissues are thicker than that of the parenchymous tissue. That is due to the presence of the thickening at the corners of the cell. So you can see the thickening here and there like this. Okay. So this thickening of the tissues is taking place in collenchyma. This will causes the plant to bend easily. All the flexible part of the plant are bending. The bending structure property is due to the presence of this collenchymus tissue. So now let's see the sclerenchymus tissue. The sclerenchyma tissue are very, very thickened cells. Okay, so the thickened walls of the cells is due to the presence of the lignin. There is a structure called lignin. So lignin will causes the thickening in these structures. So let's move on to the next slide. So here I have given you the three differences between the three types of the simple permanent tissues. So what are the three types of simple permanent tissues? They are the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So where the parenchyma, they are very thin walled and they are living cells. I told you they are seen with more spaces. Large intercellular spaces are seen between the cells. And where you can see them, they are present in the soft parts. They are present in the soft parts of the cell of the plant and in the cortical region of the roots and stems. If you cut the portion of the plant roots on the stems, you can see that the middle part is fully of the parenchyma. And mostly the entire body is made up of almost all the regions are covered with parenchymous tissues. So what is the main function? So the main function is to provide the temporary support. Okay, so that they provide a temporary support and they maintain the shape of the plant. So let's move on to the collenchyma. I already told you they are irregularly thickened at the corners. Okay, so that makes the plant to become flexible. Okay, so they can be easily bend without breaking. So this is due to the presence of collenchyma. So as you can see them in the veins of the leaves. Okay, so we can see them in the tendril, wherever the plant can bend, the tendrils, the stems. So in these regions, they are seen in this type of tissues are seen. So they provide a mechanical support and elasticity. So next is sclerenchyma. So they are elongated and they are fiber-like cells and they are mostly dead and they are pointed at the both ends and they are thickened. So they are thickened with a special type of material. I told you it is called as lignin. So where you can see them, we can see them in the husk of coconut and even in the veins of the leaves, the hard covering of the seeds and nuts. In all these regions we can see them. So what is the main reason, what is the main function of this sclerenchyma? It gives the toughness and strength to the plant parts. So the another next type of cells is the protective tissues. Protective tissues are nothing but the epidermal tissues. Okay, so they are the outermost layer of any plant part. So the outer part of the plant body is covered with the epidermal tissues. So if these epidermal tissues are covered with a waxy, these are covered with a waxy water resistant layer called cutin. Okay, so this cutin will be acting as a cuticle to the plant, that epidermal tissues. So what is the main function? Their function is to be protective against any mechanical injury, parasitic fungal attack, or any loss of water. In any case, this epidermal tissues works as a protective covering. In between these epidermal tissues, you can see small pores. Okay, small pores. You can see the picture. You can see the picture here. Okay, so can you see the epidermal cells? So the epidermal cells are quite arranged. The stomatal cells are arranged in between the epidermal tissues. Okay, so what are stomata? What is stomata? So stomata is a small pore which is covered by a kidney-shaped cell called guard cell. So what is the function of the stomata? The function is exchange of gases and respiration. So next is we have to see about the cork cells. So one important part of the epidermal tissues is to become as a cork cell. The cork cell has been developed from the secondary meristem of the cortex region. This is a layer of dead cell. Okay, there is no intercellular spaces. So this, as the plants grow older and older, the outer epidermal tissues will be converted into the cork cells. So these cork cells they are filled with a substance called suberin in their walls. They are very thickened substances. They are thickened in their walls, which makes them impermeable to water and gases. The outer epidermal layer will be converted into bark. You have seen in some plants the bark is very strong and dark and brown. So this is due to the presence of the suberin material in them. Next we go on to the complex permanent tissue. So what is complex permanent tissue? So if the tissues are made up of more than one type of the cells, such type of tissues is called as complex permanent tissues. So what is main role of the complex permanent tissues in plants? They conducting tissues. Okay, they involve in the main function of transportation or conduction of the water and minerals. They all coordinate together and helps in conduction of these elements and substances. So they are of two types. They are xylem and phloem. Let's go in detail about them. So xylem and phloem. Can you see the picture? Can you see the picture clearly? So if you see this is the plant stem. So this is the plant stem. So you can see the plants. If you cut it longitudinal wise, you can see them here. The conducting tissues are the xylem and phloem. So xylem is composed of 4 materials called vessels. So they are made up of vessels, tracheids, fibers and xylem parenchyma. And whereas the phloem The phloem is made up of you can see this phloem is made up of 4 elements called phloem fibers, companion cells, seed tubes. These are the elements made up of phloem is made up of these elements. Let's quickly go through the next part of the video, the differences between the xylem and phloem. So first is function. So the main function is that the tissue will transport the water and dissolved nutrients from root to the upper parts of the plant. So xylem, the main function is to transfer or transport water and dissolved nutrients, whereas the phloem, they will transport the food materials or the food substances from leaves to all part of the plant. So the type of the xylem is mostly dead type of cells. The phloem, that is a living cells, are seen in phloem type of tissues. So location where we can see them in the center of the vascular bundle. So the phloem is found in the periphery of the vascular bundle. We already studied that vascular bundle is nothing but xylem and phloem together. So cellular composition, the lignin and the cellulose materials are seen in this xylem type of tissues. So here the phloem is made up of the phloem sap type of materials. The structural composition of xylem is xylem fibers, vessels, tracheids, and even xylem parenchyma. The phloem vessels, sieve tubes, sieve cells, and phloem parenchyma companion cells all together they make up the phloem. So the unidirectional movement is seen in xylem, bidirectional movement is seen in phloem. So the main supportive function is done by xylem, but the supportive function is not seen that much in phloem. Yes, that's it, students. We have finished about the plant tissues and their types, and next session we will go on with the animal tissues. I hope all you have enjoyed and understood the concept. Thank you.